All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, hello. Thanks for coming.
Not a shock.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate I appreciate the extra effort today. We had a logistical change, as I think you all know, many of you know. So we appreciate the hotel for accommodating us, even though it's a little tight. But thank you. I didn't really think parking was going to be my biggest challenge today, but with any luck, it was. That means the rest of the day goes pretty well. So thanks for being here. A couple of things before we get to the mayor. I know you're here to see the mayor. I won't keep you for long. So thank you to the mayor, first of all, for doing this for us. It's an annual event. We really look forward to it, and our members really look forward to it, so we appreciate you being here to talk about the state of the city of Norwood. I want to thank a couple of people. Jim Perry. Jim Perry's not here today. He has been a 10-plus year board member. His term expired, and so Jim's rolling off the board after all these years of supporting the Norwood Chamber. And I just wanted to publicly thank him, even though he's not here, just let you guys all know how much we appreciate Jim. Thank you. He gave us great counsel. He really, he's a contractor, he's a commercial contractor, and so he really kept us thinking about the small business members that we have, and just kind of an all-around great guy. So we're going to really miss Jim. Jim's replacement on the board is Kira Hinkle. Kira's with Cappies, and so she'll be installed later, as you'll see, but the board voted Kira into her new role, so help me welcome Kira. Thank you for agreeing and for joining us. Last thing, our membership asked us, when we talked to them in 24 and in 23, we asked, what do you guys want from us? How can we do more? How can we be more valuable? And one of the things that y'all asked for was more opportunities to get together where you can actually talk to each other, get to know each other, network a little bit, perhaps figure out how to do business together. And so we dusted off the old happy hour that we hadn't done since pre-COVID, and we had several of those in 2024. So hopefully you were all at least one of them. We're going to keep going with those and try some different things as well. But please keep your eyes on your email and the website for our happy hours and some other events that we are contemplating right now. And I hope to see you all there. If you have other ideas of ways for us to be more value to membership, please see one of the board members, talk to us, come talk to me or any of the board members that you might be sitting with. So thank you all. With that, I will introduce the mayor. Mayor Vic Schneider is going to give us the state of the city of Norwood. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's great to be amongst friends. It's so nice to know there's so many people in this room that I've worked with and been around and worked on projects with. I really appreciate all of you being here. It's interesting, as I started putting together this presentation, where we came from in the short 5 years that I've been the mayor and where we are now, and really how the world has changed also. Now, this first slide, this is my 5th year. One of the first things I felt I needed to do as mayor was sort of put the building blocks in for success. And that did mean staffing up, because the previous administration had ran under very lean conditions, and they had to run a very lean staffing model. And it was effective in keeping costs down, but it was not effective in taking advantage of opportunities at times. So I recognized that right away, and we started putting staff in place. We got a safety service director that came in as an interim safety service director. But then guess what? We had riots. The first year I was in, we had all sorts of riots. We had a curfew. First time the city of Norwood had a curfew in forever. I mean, even during World War II, the World Wars, they didn't have, so we had a curfew because of all the stuff that was going on. We also went pretty much right into COVID after that, if you think about it. So we went through the COVID part of it. We had all sorts of challenges with that. So as a new mayor, it was tough because I had a vision. This is what you want to accomplish within that first year. And it was very tough to meet those goals and to my own personal goals, the things that I said I wanted to accomplish. But then we got really rolling. So we had to really put job descriptions in place and put a personnel policy in place. So there were things that we didn't have that, coming from a business part of it, I looked at it and said, how can you run an operation with over 200 employees and not have some of these things in place? So we pushed to get those things done. When we brought new people on, we tried to hire the best. There's always the spoil system. When you talk about politics and you talk about small town politics, there's people that help you on your campaign, and those people potentially drop right into these key roles. Well, when Debbie and I, my wife and I, started looking at it, and I was running. I mean, it was definitely a partnership. It was a team that we worked on. And then we have really good people that were involved. And the good people that were involved in my campaign were the ones that said, hey, when you get this, you really need to find a top-notch safety service director. They weren't saying, hey, when you get this, I want to be the safety service director. That's a really good job, pays good money. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But they said, put the right people in place. And I think I've continued that philosophy all through the 5 years that I've been there. With our safety service director, and with our community development director, and with our project manager, we've been able to put, who am I missing? Am I missing somebody in here that I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but we put really good, smart, qualified people that wanted to get the business of the city accomplished. Not always easy to do, right? We're operating with statutory city, operating under the Ohio Revised Code. We've got all sorts of different hurdles that we've got to overcome, but they've done a great job and moved us forward. Consistent direction and coaching, and then trusting the process. And I think this has a lot, and every one of you business owners, business operators, recognize you got to trust the people that you hire. You got to give them enough room to get the job done. And that's what I've done also, is try to make sure that the staff give them good, clear direction, give them guidelines on where to go, and then make those changes as need to happen. So we're going to go through the future is bright. That first slide you saw, let's see if it'll go back. The future is bright with the question mark, right? You guys didn't catch it, right? The future is bright with an exclamation point. Because even as I was walking in today, I'm talking to my friend, and he's talking about, what the changes have occurred in the city of Norwood and what the future looks like. And it is extremely bright. We just finished out year. We're still in fiscal emergency. The state auditor's office still has the city of Norwood in a fiscal emergency. We're working on, James Bonzel, our current treasurer, was on council. He started working on the financial recovery plan years ago and implementing things that put the city on solid financial standing. And when I say that, we finished out this year. We finished out the year, and I'll say over $10 million as a carryover. $10 million carryover. More than 10 million. I won't give the whole number out there, but it's way more than 10 million. And quite frankly, that's probably the first time that the city of Norwood has had that. I know in my lifetime, probably way before even maybe it was General Motors days. Back in those days, they had it, but we've never had that. We're in much better standing than we were in years past. So we're going to go through some things here that puts us here. It was interesting at a council meeting. I got to catch myself because it was interesting at a council meeting. The public can get up and talk, and one person got up and they started talking about how this council doesn't really pay attention to what's important. They don't really put the time and effort out to get things done. He's like, where did you come from? If you knew all the meetings that city council members have and hold, and all the discussion and all the interaction, this city council really does their homework. They push me, they push Noah, they really ask questions, and they're engaged in everything that goes on. Not to a point that they're overstepping, but they're asking the right questions. And that's really kudos to the leadership that we have on city council. And that goes down to also the planning commission and the board of zoning appeals. The planning commission members are asking the right questions and moving things in the right direction. So we've really got a good team in there, and that's one of the reasons why I think, with Mike Skelly's direction as community development director, with Catherine Fitzgerald being involved with the city of Norwood through Alloy and through our connection there, we've been really successful in picking up some big ones. Tim, talk a little bit about UDF. You know, it says right here, the legacy business and employer. UDF's been around a long time. You know, the Linders grew up on Clenny Avenue, or Clenay Avenue, however you want to say it. I know, because Cappy's is on Clenay, but it's Clenny. Okay. But the expansion, I don't know if you drove past and looked at the expansion, and even talking to Tim, when they did that expansion, they took down an old building that was basically built over, and now they've got it productive. So look at the amount, I don't know if you can see it in the back, Tim. It says 24.5 million investment in our community. Tim's the numbers guy, so he's got that. So Sherman Oaks multifamily, after 14 years of being a vacant lot, the former Fun Factory, where you guys went roller skating, or the former Bread Factory, which is originally it was a bread factory, right? There was investment going on there, and new low-rise apartment buildings containing 108 units, and you know, the economic development group. There's all sorts of groups that have been involved in giving them guidance, giving directive and guidance to these organizations. This is an important part. We're talking about access to Millcrest Park. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's that future thinking. That's down the road thinking type stuff that we're doing. Uptown Properties received favorable guidance on developing on the western portion of the Pond Realty lot. So that is right there at Walson Way, right? So Uptown Developments is the one that's involved in that. They are putting in 205 units in a small commercial portion of it. This was through a lot of discussion on what should go there, a lot of community guidance, a lot of discussion, and then council members being involved in it. But this is going to be a top-notch, really nice operation that's going in there. And then River City Mortgage, which started doing some stuff on Montgomery with the Montgomery Road corridor going on. There's a beauty hub that's put in. There was a building that it actually has great bones, big glass front building, sort of right across from the library. And they took that and invested some money, and it's thriving. You can drive past there. It's interesting because you can drive past there. The glass is wide open. You can look in and see what's going on. But it's a really nice new development. Long term, looking at some community planning stuff and assisting with others. This is the old school building, right? So Allison Street School, which was originally, you can see, you probably can't see it, 1896 is when this building was built, and prior to that there was the Central School. Don, I won't make any cracks. I know you're waiting for me, or maybe I'll make a crack on Bob. Did you go to one of those schools? But anyways, they didn't tear down. They didn't just tear it all down. And the Ventura Group could have tore the whole thing down. They did take down part of the structure, but they opened this up. So now we've got quite a bit going on there. They're looking at it within the old school building, 21 condominiums. And then around the outside, you've got townhouses, 17 townhouses. This is just on this phase of it. They've actually got some property over here and over here that they're going to add some townhouses to also. So it's really a nice upgrade. One of the big challenges for the city of Norwood is upgrading the water system, the water mains going in. We've got a lot of areas, and you guys will all recognize this if you're paying attention to the news. We got a lot of areas where we have 4-inch mains. These are old water mains. 4-inch was fine. 4-inch. So we've got to upgrade water mains for in this situation, fire suppression systems that are going to go in there, new codes, different things. But it needs to be done anyways. So the city is working. We Clint and Noah are working on ways to make that happen. And when we say ways to make that happen, it's not just the city of Norwood saying, we're just going to have to take all that money right out of the general fund. We're working with the Hamilton County EPA. We're working with any ways that we can finance and work and get this done so that we're taking advantage of any kind of grants or loans that are out there for improvements to our municipal water system, to our fire suppression system, all of those things. So that's an important aspect of what we're doing here. This is talking about, and Mike Skelly, I almost need to bring you up here and talk about it, but I'll just let you relax there. I'll take the heat on this one. But this is the Factory 52 project. And if you look at that picture, you look at, this was after a lot of the demolition was completed on the first phase of it. And you see a lot of brown, a lot of just ground back there. And if you've been there, hopefully all of you have been to Factory 52. Really impressive the way they've redeveloped and put in the common area community space. This is what we were sort of challenged with. This is Norwood, right? Norwood's on this side. This is Oakley or Cincinnati, right? So this is the area, and this is why we have pushed and tried to work with PLK as much as possible, because this is the competition over here. We don't get anything as they add this. I mean, we get something out of it. I mean, a bonus of more people closer to our, but this was an important part in it, and we really worked to make that happen relatively quickly. So this is the newest part of what they've done. If you look, it's these triangle pieces have all been the same, but this is the way that it's developed out, or is being developed out. And what happened in the middle of this process, of course, is that the Multicolor Corporation shut down their operations within Norwood. They had about 50, correct me if I'm wrong, 50 or 52, 50-something employees. They were running barely anything out of there. But when they shut that down, they actually owed PLK some money, because PLK did some paving, and they said they'd pay half for some of the different paving and things. So then PLK was successful. I myself said, we talked internally, and I said, leave it alone. Let's see if another company will come in there. It's a big manufacturing site. Let's get some business. Let's get a business in there. Let's put some people in there. Let's get some. But it didn't work out that way. PLK was pretty savvy. They recognized that property's connected to theirs and what they can do. They went in and took a look at it. Can we keep the building? Can we just condo the building or make it apartments, much like they did at other parts? But they really couldn't. The way the building had been used for years and years, multicolor with inks, with all the different things, there were reasons that they needed to take that building down. So they took it down. They left a portion up front. If you went past, you've seen that portion up front. That'll be enclosed, but it's going to be townhouses all across through there. So it really brings into the fold these homes on Robertson that have been looking at a huge brick wall across from them and had no neighbors, really didn't have much of a neighborhood. I tell everybody, I delivered papers as a kid, and it was always the person at the very end of that street that got a newspaper. So I had to go all the way down the end of the street, throw one newspaper out, everything. But this, it puts them back into a community. When they are now, with these townhouses being there, they'll be able to walk straight across the street and see and have neighbors and have people around them. So, which is, I think, a huge bonus to that. There's also this area, the area on the bottom here, which is on what looks like the south side of Robertson, but that area was all old gravel parking lot, and they are going to develop that. With that, there is some areas back in there when they put the highway through. So the highway is running right here. When they put the highway through, there were some homes here. There's some old foundations from some old homes, but they're going to develop that in there. So are there community concerns? Yeah. I mean, people in that area have had trees in sort of a wooded area that was, I won't say neglected, it was just left. It was a little bit of forest, a little bit of green space. But now it's going to be developed, and we'll work with them, much like council has worked with everybody, and the administration works with every developer. We'll work with them for the good of the community and try to make sure it's as nice as possible. In process, some goals that started in 2024. This is probably sort of the same slide that I had previously. So Montgomery Road traffic calming and sidewalk improvements. That project has already really started. And that's the main business district. So the main business district we're looking at with the traffic calming process is basically from the bridge over Norwood lateral, down to Monroe. So that's where we will be doing bump outs. We'll actually be making the sidewalks bigger. The sidewalk space will be bigger. Repositioning a little bit of the parking. All the accesses and everything stays the same down through there, but also removing the street lights that you see, all the big old street light poles that have been up there since probably 72. They'll all be removed. There will be less of those street light poles because we are using LED lights now, and they can design those to be more effective and less. So it's going to be I think it'll be a nice change there. The goal here is to take it from 7 to 9 lanes of travel down to regular lanes of travel where pedestrians can walk across, which changes your light timing, which changes a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of the lights and the way the lights are set up is because they're so wide, you've got to give people time to get across the street if they're walking. And we are in a walking community, absolutely. So it's an important part. I talked a little bit about multicolor last time. So street improvements, working with the tree board on making sure that the trees and the different parts are in there. This is sort of the same slide we had last time. Improved lighting, wider sidewalks, improved lane markings. I don't know how many of you went down Montgomery Road in the middle of a good storm, good wet. It's like you can't tell where you are. You're all over the place. But and then some signage improvements. So we're going to see a big difference in that. Also the two bus stops at Surrey Square. So one's over by Speedway, and the other one's on the side where Kroger is. Those are two of the busiest bus stops on the whole sort of network. And one of the nice things is we all passed a tax, right? We passed a tax to give SORTA the funds to make improvements within our whole region. So we've tapped into SORTA. We're tapping into that as much as we can. I'm thinking, Noah, do you know the number right off the top of that on SORTA funding?
About 3.5 million.
Wow. 3.5 million. 3.5 million coming into our community for that. Some people would say like, well, why are we trying to get that money in the city of Norwood? I don't really agree with that. It's our money. It's the money that we are it's all this Hamilton County money, the state funding that comes in for all these projects. It's our money. It's the city of Norwood residents' money. We're paying taxes. Let's make our community better. Absolutely, 100%. So this is some of the stuff we said, think outside of the box. We want to have an actual sort of bus stop there, something that protects the people a little better, something that works better. So we're looking at some of that stuff to make it a little bit. What my whole goal behind this is so that when people are at the bus stop, they don't just flip over a shopping cart so they can sit. I mean, is that really what we want to do? I mean, we really need to embrace public transportation. My opinion of public transportation is it's nothing but good for our community. I ride the bus. I get on the Metro bus. I ride it down to the Red Stadium for a Reds game, and then I ride it back. Every Bengals game, I'll get a ride down to the Bengals game and then ride the bus back. I ride the bus, rode it to Blink. How many of you guys went to Blink and rode the bus? It was like record numbers. Yeah, Rodney, you and I ran into each other on the bus. But it's nothing but good for our community. We talk about Norwood Norwood has the workforce. So you want to put your business in Norwood because we have the workforce. And guess what? We're on the bus line. And that's part of bringing the workforce to Norwood also. So let's do it right. We're going to work with SORTA and make sure that we're doing it right. Street improvements, the big one was the Norwood Lateral, right? Norwood Lateral was shut down one side and then the other side. Everybody knows that. State Route 561 is the big, I call it the crosstown connector. It is for Norwood. It's a crosstown connector because we're, Smith and Carthage, that's all been completed. Lincoln is being worked on right now. Ralston and then South Jefferson are also slated. The residential streets. We're trying to do the big thoroughfares, but we're also trying to hit these residential streets and hit some of the smaller stuff or smaller residential streets that haven't really been touched in years and years and years. So we're going to continue that process. We're going to put more residential streets in as we finish some of these bigger ones. I don't think I have it on there, but really the big one for 22 and 3, which is Montgomery Road, next year, after the improvements are made to the downtown area with the sidewalks and all the cutouts and bump outs and things like that, the year after that, in 2026, we will see Montgomery Road repaved from corp line to corp line. So all the way from the south, all the way to the north. That'll get repaved. It's going to be a big project. The last time it was done was 24 years ago, 25 years ago, and they did it. It was done over 3 sections. There were 2 sections of it completed over 2 years, and then it waited another 2 years, and then the 3rd section was completed. So you never had the full finished, beautiful product, and that's what we're shooting for. We want it to be done right. So, water system improvements, EPA mandated water improvements have been completed. Our water towers that were online are not online anymore, and they will be removed. Not necessary for the water system the way it's set up at this point. Working with the EPA on pilot programs. I just did a Board of Health meeting, and it was really interesting. There was a presentation that the Health Commissioner, Pam Mullins, gave on what the Board of Health does. And, you know, as you look at our water system and what the Ohio EPA mandates that we should be doing to our water system, and we're following those mandates. Clint Zimmerman, our public works superintendent, who's in charge of this, really pays attention to what's the right way to run a municipal water system. And we're making improvements to it. When you talk about removing the lead line connectors, Regent, Lincoln, and Montgomery, Clint was contacted by the Ohio EPA, and they brought in the director of the Ohio EPA because they wanted to talk to Clint about and the city overall. I mean, I was there, Noah was there, multiple people were there. They wanted to talk about how we are being so successful with this, and what are our recommendations to roll this out to other communities. And we've worked with them on some beta testing and beta site to do this. So we're moving in the right direction, and that's because of the leadership we have in the Public Works Department and with the Safety Service Director, making sure that we're safe. Going back to the Board of Health, the Board of Health does so many different things. I mean, even monitoring our water system and helping with the testing and sampling of our water system. There are so many areas that our Board of Health reaches out. So how do you know if you're really successful if you're in the Board of Health and working in that industry? Well, everybody's healthy. People stay healthy. And the restaurants are clean. But for us, we take it all for granted, right? It just happens naturally. It doesn't just happen naturally. There's a lot of hard work that gets completed to make sure that we are healthy and safe. The food that we eat and the drinks, and so it's really nice. We got Darth Vader in the house. Sorry. So, 2 things I said. I'm in my 5th year, right? So there's 4-year terms. 4 years. I got 3 more years. This is Elm Avenue flood mitigation project. I started working on this 25 years ago. And that was when I was the service director for the city of Norwood, and we started working on this. And we thought we had some plans in place. The first thing we did was recognize it. We thought we had plans, and we put plans in place to maintain the stormwater system to make sure it didn't get clogged up. It doesn't take much to clog up and make a huge flood when you have a system that's already overwhelmed. We got money back then, but really we weren't in a good fiscal position to do anything about it, and it sort of died on the vine. Then this last cycle, when you got a new mayor coming in, it was brought up constantly. There was one person that was running for mayor that was taking pictures of it saying, we got to fix this, we got to fix this. Yeah, it's easy to say we got to fix this. Really the solution is the hard part. We have a solution. We have the funding in place. We are working right now on utility easements, which is the first part of that. And the plan is completed. The contract has been signed.
Not yet.
The contract's not signed, but we are getting start dates when they will break ground on it. So this is a huge one. We went back to Hamilton County. Hamilton County commissioners had a sum of money that they said, we can help the city of Norwood with this project, right? City of Norwood we're in Hamilton County, believe it or not. That's our tax money. We go to the commissioners and say, we need help. And you know what they said? We'll help you. Well, then it went out to contract. We said, oh boy, with the way everything has changed, it's going to be this much more. So we went back to the Hamilton County commissioners. Noah went to the meeting. We went back to them. We talked to all our contacts, and we're continuing to make contact. talked to our contacts and said, hey, we need a little more help. And they gave us another $1,300,000.
Wow. Another million?
Another $1 million. It's our money. It's their money to allocate. They're helping us make this happen. So this is a huge, huge project. So the project has started and is projected to be completed in 2025. That's one of the things. As I became mayor, when I became mayor, I said we're gonna get that. We've got to get, before I leave, we've got to have that done. So when that's completed, that's one of the things that I can check off my list and say, mission accomplished. You know, I didn't make any promise. I never made any campaign promises, but I did set goals for myself, and I set goals for my administration, and we've been working diligently towards them, and that is one of them. That's a huge one. The other one that I feel really want to accomplish over the next 3 years and get done is the transportation. I say transportation enhancements, but this green line is a bike path. This is Xavier University. This is the old Boyd Johnson Paint Company, which was then changed over to Alloy, Hamilton County Development, right? And it's the business incubator. Just to give you a perspective of where it is. And if you look at this line is being connected to the Wasson Way Trail, right? So we broke ground, and they're on the other side of Montgomery Road and coming. So the Wasson Way Trail is going to come down. You're going to be able to ride your bike down here. And then if we can get this land, which is the train tracks that run across there, you don't know they're there. Even if you live right there, you probably don't know they're there because the trees have grown up through them. But if we can get that land, purchase that land, it goes across Lower Millcrest Park, we can make that connection and bring the bike trail back into our city into two really beautiful park areas. So that's the other one. We've got some funding in place. We feel like we have that. We've worked with the organization, Norfolk Southern. We're continuing to work with them. You know, everybody says it's hard to work with the railroads to get things done. It's not that it's hard. It just takes time and persistence, and you just got to continue to hit on them. But I feel like in the next year, 2 years, we'll get control of this. And then there's all sorts of, Rails to Trails organizations. There's the Queens. There's all sorts of organizations. Once we have the property, we can get grants, we can get loans, we can get the money that's needed to develop this and move forward. So this is my two big ones. If we can get these two accomplished, I really feel like as a Norwood boy, I really did something in my community, made something happen. So, recreation. This is, I'll read this. Recreation is vital for everyone at every age and every level of ability as it promotes physical health, enhances mental well-being, fosters social connection, and provides opportunities for personal growth and fulfillment. This is a quote from Recreation Director Mike Gabbard, or maybe somebody smart like him. But I'll tell you, it's absolutely true. And we had council members that were all involved in us taking on the old YMCA building, right? Well, when we took that on, and when they came to me and first started talking about it, I was like, man, I don't know how you make that happen. But they pushed. Gabby was one of the council members. James Bonzo was one of the council members. They pushed to make this happen, and we purchased it for $1. $1. And the city's put some money into it, absolutely. But we got all sorts of programs. We've got so much going on to improve the health of our community. It's a membership facility that hopes different ways to meet exercise needs. This is written by Gabby, of course. Full court gymnasium, full workout, water workouts such as water aerobics, lap swimming, adult and youth sports leagues, dances, and activities. There's tons of stuff going on there. They have tons of it going on. The community center, senior center, we sort of rebooted it in January 2024. The center was realigned under the recreation department. Previously, the senior center director reported to the safety service director. The safety service director really doesn't have that much time to worry about what lunch they're going to prepare or how they're going to and work with that person. So we put it under the recreation director, and they're doing just a bang up job of getting those programs. They've got the programs going. So daily activities, 40 seniors for a weekly lunch. It has been rebooted. It's a important part of our community. Our senior center and our seniors are a very important part of our community, and we recognize that, and we're trying to provide them the resources that they need to do well. Darren, I'm not going through every one of these for you. Darren's our project manager. He sent me this, and I threw it on there because there's so many different projects that Darren is involved in to get our community buildings back in shape, to get our offices back in shape. If you watched the council meeting last night, law director was talking about how they just redid all the offices for the law department and how nice it turned out. But there's a lot of work that is being completed on a regular basis here. Operational improvements. This is something that Noah is very into. Noah is you are the president of the CGL, Center for Local Government. So Noah's involved in that, and that's just resources. It's networking. It's just like you're doing here, but it's networking with other government officials. How are you doing it? What's your best practice? What's something that you did so that's an important part. Adoption of the VIP analytics. We've got software systems that we purchased, and we get this whole suite, and you guys all know it because you have software systems that you're using a quarter of what they really have on there. Noah and Ken, our auditor, are taking advantage of our systems. VIP analytics for budgeting, reporting, for budget formation, all those things are going to be important, and that's something that's important. New benefit, we have a new advisor for benefits management, and 5% healthcare renewal, a 5% healthcare renewal for this year. We've never seen that. I mean, not in my time working with insurance and with the city of Norwood. That it's just incredible, and I really have to. Lori Zombeck came on as our HR director and has done just a bang up job of building and working to get it better, using enterprise, and then improved the CRA ordinance to encourage further economic growth, and we've got so many good things going on. Seems simple and straightforward. Here's some of the things, and we're going to put this. We can put this PowerPoint up on our website, and we'll put it up on the City of Norwood's Facebook page, and NCT can roll some film on it. But these are all parts of it. Always be on the lookout for a teaching or learning moment. I think this is something that's important within our organization. They have department head meetings, regular department head meetings, and they're talking and sort of networking there. The one that I threw on here is not all ideas are good ideas. And I've got community members that get really discouraged because I guess they're laying in bed at night and they're like, this is what we should do. So recognize this for my harebrained ideas. Sometimes I have harebrained ideas. And then, go easy on those that present those harebrained ideas. And then probably the last and most important part is they may be right. It might be that you circle back. Everybody like, let's put a pin in it, circle back. But ultimately, they might be right. And you might have to change your mind. And you might have to go a little bit of a different direction because that's the right thing to do. So that's an important part to this slide. This is a slide that was up there before. Most of you in business understand this. Continuous improvement, recognizing, where are the opportunities for improvement? How do you make it happen, implement it, and then study the results to make sure you're doing it right. Those are things we continue to do. This is the one as a business owner or operator. I should have remembered this so I could just stand here. As a business owner, but I didn't. I'm sorry. As a business owner or operator, the City of Norwood provides a perfect environment for growth, which is with a strategic location, robust infrastructure, improving, access to qualified workforce, a dense regional customer base, and a city leadership committed to fostering innovation and supporting investment. Norwood offers all the essential tools needed for success. I stand behind this. I should have put my a personal signature under that one. I stand behind it 100%. So strength is in the people. I recognize the only way that we have been able to be successful over my 5 years is through the people that we have working with the City of Norwood. And whether that's people that are actually on the payroll that are doing it, or whether that's people like you, community members, business owners, organizations that make our community what it is today. And I thank all of you for all of your volunteer efforts, for all the efforts you take to make sure that our community is thriving and going in the right direction, because it really takes a lot of people to make this happen. And I think that's about it. I will take any questions if you have them, if we have time.
Yeah, we have a few minutes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. What is the plan for the former hotel. I think it was a Quality Inn, and now obviously Fisher's is next to it, but that's clearly a privately held concern. But what's the plan for that? It's my understanding that PLK was also going to be.
Right. PLK owns that, purchased and owns that property. They did the demolition on that property. They were working out a deal, and maybe they've already worked out the deal for senior housing, for 55 and up senior housing in that area, with potentially some retail on the first, but we're not sure. They don't have to do retail on the first. They're looking at extending Crown Avenue out to Montgomery Road. So that's what we have right now. We don't have any plans submitted to the city on that. I understand they're forthcoming, but that will be something that we'll see developed in the near future. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, can the city take the lead on extending Crown Avenue and not leave it up to PLK?
Take the lead as in the city should pay for the extension of Crown Avenue? Yes and no. We will take the lead as in giving them good, clear direction and working with them on that, on them making that investment. But that's how it works, yeah.
They need to invest.
Yeah. Something back here?
Elm Avenue is like freaking amazing that you guys are getting that done. I just want to do kudos on that. If you all can get that railroad, as you know, when I was health commissioner, Jess Lane and I worked on that for years, and we were ready to sign, and we were ready to get those railroad tracks, and the former mayor pulled the rug out from underneath us. Well, I didn't speak to him for like 4 years, but we're okay now. But anyway, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So my question is, on the Montgomery Road thing, I know we had, a tree board had talked about doing those water gardens. Are there any plans to do that like they've done in Oakley Square, where you get the storm water that comes in and
I know we looked at that with the tree board, and I think we put that in front of engineering, but the way that the sidewalks are and the drainage is at this time, I don't think they could work those in, but I'm not saying no. Maybe we need to revisit.
So you do a curb cut and then it takes the storm water and comes in and it waters the trees and the flowers and stuff for you. They've done it over at Oakley Square. There's more and more communities that have done it as they've been upgrading their streets. So just
It's not a done deal, so, yeah, and I think you'd sent me an email on that and with some information. I think that was forwarded on to engineering, but maybe I didn't give it the right push that I should.
just curious.
Okay. Emily, did you have something?
Do we know anything about Frisch's? What's gonna happen?
Do we know anything about Frisch's?
What's gonna happen?
They used to make really good hamburgers.
Yeah. You know, what's gonna happen?
They were started in Norwood. I hate to see that go.
Yeah.
I don't have good information on. What I do have information on is that piece of property is extremely valuable. Not on we all register it as being valuable because it's on Montgomery Road in the heart of our community and all that. It's extremely valuable because when it was sold the last time, it was sold to a REIT, which is a real estate trust, and they overpaid. They paid way too much money for that little piece of property. So that causes some problems for how it gets purchased and what it's worth to what they think they need to get out of it for their investment and what it's really worth. There's some different numbers there, so yeah, that matters. Anything else?
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll now do our installation of officers. And this is your part.
Excellent. Thank you.
My name's Kathy Walters, and I'm the executive director of the chamber. And I'm going to be calling the board up. When I call up your name, please come forward. Tim Blankenhorn, President. Julie Peter, Vice
Let's start right
President.
over here, Tim.
Whatever you say.
Tim Kling, United Dairy Farmers. Donna Lake, Norwood Business and Professional Women's Club. Tracy Tomer, Remax Preferred Group. Mary C. Miller, Norwood Together. Stephanie Downs, the Shepherd Chemical Company. Eric Haynes, Fifth Third Bank. Kira Hinkle, Cappy's Norwood. And Mike Skelly, City of Norwood.
Is the first happy hour being held at Cappy's now that she's on the board?
Might not be the first, but it might be in the warm weather.
We could try, we need to try that. We need to do that.
Okay, are y'all ready?
We are. We are ready.
I guess raise your right hand. Please raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. In accordance with the Norwood Chamber of Commerce bylaws.
In accordance with the Norwood Chamber of Commerce bylaws.
Did you hear that in the back? Should I start over? Okay, we'll keep going. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to uphold the purposes
to uphold the purposes
and to actively support
and to actively support
the programs and activities of this organization
the programs and activities of this organization
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
As mayor of the city of Norwood, I hereby officially install you as officers and trustees for the year 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Where'd Kathy go? Got anything else?
I don't know.
No? All right. Well, that concludes the program. Thank you all again for coming. Thanks to the mayor for your presentation and all of your time. Appreciate that. Yeah, one more round of applause, please. Yeah. You seem to be on a great path in the city, so thank you for that. Thanks for coming. Watch your emails. We'll do something fun soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.